How a game can hook the player's attention for the first hour is the equivalent of how a YouTube video can hook the viewer's attention for the first 5 seconds. Like and sub, by the way. Now, older and modern games both do that very well. They both can grab our attention immediately. Some use the main menu OST, other the promise of the premise and what you expect of the story and the writing.
Warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevail.
And others just basically rely on plain old shock value.
The game was rigged from the start.
Man of peace, roused to war.
Now, like I established in the first episode, that older and modern games basically have that formula well established. There's no difference between them. None have the advantage over the other. They're both pretty good at it, and it's honestly very subjective depending on the player's taste and what they expect from the game that they want to play at. But here's the caveat. Here's the difference, where the difference comes between old and modern game. How polished they are. And when we say polished, we say performance, UI design, bloat, hand holding, all that stuff. We're not strictly talking about graphics here because, yeah, let's admit modern games are much prettier than older games. But when we talk about performance, is where modern games dropped the ball. And they kept dropping the ball so much so that there is something called first day patch, which was back then unheard of. We used to see a game that was about to release, we get excited because we know the studio, we play the previous game, and then we pre-purchase it, and the game works. Nowadays, no, there's a first day patch, there's a second day update, a third day update, oh, there's a bug here, bug there, this is not working, the game is not playable, people refunds it, or they just put it on a shelf until they can play it after they fix it. I think the prime example of that sort of modern game is Cyberpunk. I don't think I need to go into details on how bad Cyberpunk's launch was. It didn't work on last gen consoles, it didn't work on mid-powered PC or low-end PC, it only worked on high-end PCs, and even then it had performance issues. It had so many issues actually that Sony did the unthinkable and refunded the game for players. And it even created a trend after CD Projekt Red released a apology statement. And now I think we have a collage of apology statements from a lot of studios. It's insane. To compare that with Witcher 3, let's say, on launch, it was working fine, it was working okay, there was some FPS drops here and there, but overall the performance was immaculate, which gave CD Projekt Red its amazing reputation back then. But that's not all. It's not just CD Projekt Red, by the way. There's a lot of other studios that are making the same mistakes. Let's take an example of Warhammer 4000. Warhammer 4000, the Rogue Trader. They had progression bugs, broken triggers, soft locks, crashes, stability issues, break and run, performance problems, FPS issues. Compare that with, let's say, Divinity 2 Original Sin. When it first came out, it was praised with how smooth it is and how well it was working on last-gen consoles. There were smooth FPS, no FPS drop, everything went great. I mean, it went so well that there are no reports for how if the game was even bad. I couldn't find any. And to top it all off, we have the highest problem with some of the modern games nowadays, which is the UI design and the immense amount of pop-up that we keep getting for every single-player non-online games like Assassin's Creed that just keeps having microtransaction, live services, pop-ups saying, hey, buy this, buy that, you know, it's just so anti-user friendly, and I think we all got sick of it so much that the games aren't doing very well nowadays. Regarding with hand-holding, we had so many games that basically keeps telling you to go here, to go there. They have marked area, the yellow paint, and that basically breaks the immersion for players, and some players just don't continue playing the game. And this is it for this video, guys. I just wanted to talk about the two of the rules that we decided on the first video, and I think we talked about it very well. I think we have a clear winner regarding the polish aspect, which is older games versus modern games. Older games basically had better performance-wise polishing, because I think studios back then used to prioritize that, and nowadays the modern games used to think about how much ray tracing we can add, which is not just it's a throwaway statement. Don't take my word on it, but basically they focus too much on how detailed the game is and how pretty it looks, rather than how well it's gonna perform. It doesn't, of course, apply to all games, but it applied to so many games that it became the norm. It became common. All right, next video is gonna be about the pacing and creativity. Stay tuned and let me know down in the comment below what you guys think about the polish of modern games versus older games. See you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye bye.